As human beings, we have, and as cultures, we have an incredible ability to think of things as normal or even desirable or the best way when in fact they often aren't, right? And let me just give you a couple of quick examples. This is cocaine toothache drops from the 1890s, right, that you could buy at your local pharmacy, right? And you just see the conversations. Hey, honey, Annabelle is a little under the weather today. Oh, no worries, drop her a couple of the cocaine pills and she'll be off and running in no time, right? Kind of go, wow, not too far, not too long ago. Or let me just take you not 100 years back, but maybe 50 years back, and doctors and dentists were falling all over each other recommending the latest cigarette brands, right? Some even touting various health benefits and health zones and how the smoke would hit you. And you kind of go, oh, okay, that's interesting. Well, let me just take you 30 or 40 years ago, where we talked about carbonated soft drinks and how to give those to your toddlers and mix them in with the baby milk because they're going to make them drink more and they'll be more lively, right? And I just see a few folks in the audience going, oh my God, right? Because with all of that, you kind of go, well, that's ridiculous, right? But that stuff wasn't that long ago, right? And in many ways, as we looked at leadership teams, and we have worked with over 300 of some of the largest around the world over the last 20 years, there are leadership practices, largely based on the industrial age, that we perceive to be normal today that I think 10, 15, 20 years from now we'll look back and we'll go, well, that's just as ridiculous. I cannot believe this was an enlightened way of leading, right? Now, when we talk leadership blind spots, what we mean is areas where our existing beliefs and experiences preclude us from having the most enlightened view of how to lead people effectively. And this is a big deal. This has real implications, and you guys know this. I'm talking to a friendly audience. 90% of all strategies are suboptimized. They don't work out well because we do some things not all that well from a leadership standpoint. And even more importantly, from an engagement standpoint, 70% of employees are somewhere between indifferent and disengaged. Meaning the place where we spend most of our time is the place where we really don't want to be or we don't feel particularly productive. Not only is that a productivity issue, that's actually kind of a human travesty. That's just a status quo that's not acceptable. It's simply not good enough, right? Now, we all own our own engagement. But the reality is that leaders set a really, really important tone to drive effective engagement, right? They cast the shadow that really matters. There's 5 that we found. But looking at all the leadership teams we've worked with, I'm going to just focus on truth in the 6 minutes or so that I've left. So truth, one of the things that we found is that leaders often feel that people feel safe telling me what they really think and feel. Well, that often isn't the case. Quick example, we were working with a large global financial services organization. They called us and said, hey, we want to get better about truth-telling and conversations and that sort of a thing. And so we did some interviews, and we have a way of visualizing some of the truths. They were around the strategy, around the culture, and they brought their top 120 together. We put them into tables just like this, and we had discussions around the current state and some of the truths. And people were high-fiving us. They're like, the best conversation we've ever had. This is fantastic. And then the head of strategy saw something about the strategy that we depicted that he didn't like, and the CEO, which we hadn't worked with much yet, was in the room, and he ran over there and he complained. And things kind of went a little south, and next thing you know, that we got summoned the next day by the CEO. And he said, hey, listen, this was interesting yesterday, I got to tell you. But what's even more interesting, we went back to all the people you talked to get this information, and they said they don't know where you got it from, right? And so we're like, okay, this kind of moment of truth. And I said, well, that leaves us with 2 options. One is we have a vivid imagination and a desire to cause controversy, or 2, your people have a much greater desire or feel much more comfortable telling us the truth than they do telling you the truth. If it's the first one, let's shake hands and this isn't going to go anywhere. If it's the second one, I think we can help you and we can do some work together. After about 10 seconds, that felt like 7 minutes, he chuckled and he said, okay, you got me, let's go to work, all right? The point being is truth-telling is hard. In places where often the truth really gets told is the hallway, the water cooler, and it's safe, the bathroom, right? That's not great. Why does that happen, right? Why does that happen? It's funny, all the way up till about 4th or 5th grade, we tell the truth. You ask a 3rd grader to draw mommy and daddy, actual picture, we'll draw mommy and daddy, this is what they do, no filter, right? Then the filter starts coming in. So we stop telling the truth, we stop feeling safe. Now you wonder, why do we stop feeling safe? Well, as employees, it's things like, If I speak up and disagree, will I be the team member who doesn't get to play, right? Can I be sure my comments will be taken the right way and my intention is for the good of the business? If I talk about things from my perspective, will people think less of me because of my answers? Or if I say what I really think, could that be a career-limiting move? I don't know, say that. Or from a leader's standpoint, you might go, is critique an indictment of my leadership? What if I don't have all the answers? Am I supposed to have all the answers? If we really have an open door, will we just have a complaint session? That won't really help. It won't help me, right? Or I'm not comfortable with how vulnerable I have to be if we really put everything on the table, because it takes real vulnerability to put the truth out on the table. And that's a hard, easy thing to say, really hard thing to do, right? And even more important and interesting, there's a bunch of research that says, as a leader, as you get more power, you become less empathetic. Right? All these things sort of get in your way, makes it harder. So you have to be even more self-aware. You become less empathetic as you gain more power. So you have to have real awareness as a leader, and that means people will be telling you even the truth even less. So what are some quick things you could do or things to think about? Well, in the Middle Ages, they had a person who was a truth teller. Who was that? The court jester. The one guy who won't get the head chopped off and tells the truth to the king, right? Do you have a court jester? Do you have someone who can tell you the truth in your business, who has the permission, who makes it safe, assuming it is not safe? That's one way to do it. Another one is to have conversations. I said we often visualize. Have conversations about the truth and make it safe, make it humorous, depersonalize it, and then capture some truth statements. These are actual ones from clients that we had worked with in the past. A retailer who said, we claim that we're customer maniacs in everything that we say and we do, but in the end, we're really finance and control maniacs who don't trust our people would do the right thing if we took the controls off. Well, if that's the truth, you start to realize, you start leading differently, right? Or a consumer products company we worked with. We say we are a people company. Yeah, we don't prioritize developing people. We aren't good at it. And we don't even like doing it. Right? Well, okay, that's an important truth to start being honest about, because now you can start doing something about it, right? In the end, I think there's a saying that goes, the truth shall set you free. Well, it should not only set you free, it ultimately makes you a much better leader with more productivity and better teams. And so that's a quick insight into the truth blind spot. If you're interested in the other four or dive further into truth, I will see you in the breakout. Thank you.
That was awesome. Thank you so much, Rich. That was amazing. And on the bottom of page 35, you will have your 3, 2, 1. You can document 3 insights, 2 questions, and 1 new opinion formed. I'm constantly blown away about the amount of information and take-home wisdom that I get crammed into 9 minutes. So you guys can distill some of that down on page 35 there.